Pregnant women who are 7 years pregnant are struck by lightning. She gave birth to a baby just before she died. A man looks at something so weird, as if frightened.
My son.
Poor baby was born without a father or a mother. Grandpa thinks he looks weird. Locked him in the basement for 18 years. No one in the area knew about the boy until his grandfather died. The president of the orphanage and the local agents walked gingerly into the basement. The place is clean and tidy. It's not as cluttered as you might think. The child was curled up in the shadow.
Come on. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
But when the boy came out, both of them were stunned. He has no hair all over his body. Eyes are even more eerie hair powder. The boy said he had never been to school, but the dean found out. There are many bitter and hard to understand books here. She picked up one and asked him about the contents of the book. The boy didn't answer her question directly.
Pick a page.
216.
He even memorized the whole content of the page. The dean was surprised. The boy continued. He knows all the books here backwards. There are 4 whole bookshelves here. The dean finally realized, this weird boy, it's a real genius. The two took him with them, out of a home that the boy hadn't been out of in 18 years. The dean took him to the welfare home. The boy got out of the car and was in the spotlight.
What the hell is that?
Everybody wants to see him like a monster. The bully in the school went straight up to find fault. He took the boy's lunchbox, pick up a spoon and humiliate him. The people around were all laughing at the excitement. The boy smiled and took the spoon. The thumb is constantly rubbing with force. The next minute something weird happens. The scene stunned everyone. The boy used his superpowers to defuse the bullying, without hurting the bully. When the dean heard that, he hurried to take him for examination. After making sure there are no physical problems, give the boy a blue cosmetic contact lenses. He was then sent back to school again. The dean wanted the boy to be educated, but he got into a lot of trouble on his first day of school. The teacher showed off electricity in physics class. The boy in the corner shivered all over. He can't hold it anymore. The pen on the table began to spin violently. The electric current on the platform suddenly rushed out, hit the boy right in the heart. The current did not stop. Instead, he held the boy tightly. A second current also appears quickly. They carried the boy into the air. Everything a physics teacher knows, and it collapsed in a flash. When he thought about it, break the instrument quickly. The boy was taken to hospital, but the doctor said there was no trace of him being electrocuted. When the boy gets back to school, a bunch of experts are waiting for him.
She also tells me that reading and your grandparents are the only ways you've experienced the world?
When the boy heard this, he had no reaction, because the faces of these experts, like a bunch of bullies who bully themselves. The boy refused to answer all the experts' questions.
But I don't need you to believe in me, Dr. Stippler.
The boy was very disappointed. There was not a shred of goodwill towards him. They all look at themselves with a look of discrimination. Compared to them, boys prefer to play with small animals. His hands were in contact with that ground. The cute little animals came out one after another. What I didn't expect was, the people who used to bully him hunt here. The bully raised his gun at the boy.
I can do you right now.
It was an agent who hunted the fawn, looking at the animals that are constantly struggling. He even bragged about it, how perfect that shot was. The bullet struck the heart with precision. The fawn won't have any pain. The boy heard this. Walk up slowly, one hand on the dying deer, grab the agent with the other hand. The pain of dying the fawn. The boy passed it on intact to the agent. The dying feeling left the agent in pain. This is the 4th superpower for boys, and as the bearer, he felt the pain. 2. Agents start here. He never hunted again. When the sheriff learned about it, took the boy home. His wife has been paralyzed for years. Life has come to an end, suffering every minute and every second. But I don't know why. The wife would not leave. The sheriff wants to know the reason. The boy put his hand on the woman's forehead. It was the relationship between father and son that the old man couldn't let go of. The old man feared that when he died the two would no longer be in touch. Last wish is that the relationship between the two can ease. This tough guy, sheriff, he cried and accepted his wife's dying wish. The son heard the news and came. Looking at the grieving father, I understood everything in an instant. He's been calling for a father he hasn't called for in 10 years. The boy looked at such a warm scene. I couldn't help but cling to the post. Everyone seemed to have something to fall back on. But where are my own family? What he didn't expect was, the next day, a girl came to him. The boy was single for 18 years. It was his first date. It's a strange way to hold a girl's hand. With her fingertips up, he just touched it slightly. But at the moment when both hands touch, the girl's body gushes out a trace of current. Now the two can see what's in each other's hearts. They're like friends we haven't seen for years, and started talking. Just as the girl was slowly closing in on the boy, her father couldn't help it. The boy was lifted straight up by him, being constantly reviled. The scene was encountered by the dean. She hurried forward to stop it. The man said a cruel word before he left.
You keep that thing on a leash, or I'll slap a lawsuit on that state zoo that'll shut it down so fast it'll make your head spin.
The seeds of the boy's love were dashed before they could sprout. He packed his bags. Want to go back to your own basement? But the school bully didn't want to let him go. They snatched the boy's hat, take off his clothes, a constant stream of verbal humiliation. The boy could not keep his emotions in check any longer. Lightning suddenly streaked across the sky, earring pendants on this group of people. It's all out of control. The bully was out of breath on the spot. Everybody's starting to panic, but the boy came by. He pressed his hands against the bully's chest. A sudden flash of electric current. Once, twice, 3 times, the boy made it. The man who used to bully him nodded apologetically. After all this, the boy returned to his home, a basement that's been living for 18 years. At this moment, he feels familiar and strange. The boy felt an endless loneliness. The dean came to me at this time. She apologized guiltily to the boy.
That you would change everything I knew.
The basement door suddenly opened. It was the physics teacher who came to pick him up. The boy finally felt the long-lost warmth. They walked out of the house, only to find out that the agents are here. He's doing it for the bully thing. But when the sheriff looked the boy in the eye, he pulled over the agents, dropped the pager. For the first time in his life, he went against his profession. Suddenly there was thunder in the sky. The boy seemed to be summoned. He kept running with open arms. White skin is like a boy's heart. The dark clouds dropped a bolt of lightning. The boy seemed to be attached to the sky at the moment. His whole body was radiant with dazzling light. It's getting faster and faster. For a moment he forgets the scornful gaze. Forget about the injustice of the world. The boy was accompanied by an aura. Completely disappeared. 18 years ago, a bolt of lightning brought him to this world. 18 years later he left the world full of disappointment. May we all be loved and expected, be treated tenderly by the world.